Fucking hell. Then came session 2. That's when things took a turn from strange to genuinely alarming. The group was doing a bit of shopping, gearing up before the next adventure. Todd's bard had his sights set on haggling with the shopkeeper for a good deal, and Jess was right behind him, adding some intimidation to back him up. The two of them had a great synergy, really getting into the roleplay and bouncing off each other's energy. Meanwhile, Luke's bard was helping Fighter, trying to find him some new gear. I was enjoying the scene and watching the characters interact, until out of nowhere, Fighter decided to go full murder hobo right in the middle of a friendly back and forth. He straight up killed the shopkeeper, no warning, no lead up, no reason, just a quick, brutal strike that left the poor NPC dead and left the rest of us speechless. Todd and Jess looked up, caught off guard, clearly not expecting their bargain scene to end with murder. Everyone just froze. The group tried to get an explanation from Fighter, hoping he'd finally open up at the least acknowledge his action. But he just shrugged, barely even looking at us, and whatever, he muttered, brushing off everyone's question and concern. At that point, I realized that Fighter wasn't just playing a dark character. He was disregarding everyone else's enjoyment. His behavior was dragging down the group dynamics, and I knew I had to address it, but I didn't have his contact info since I've only met him at the store, so I figured I'd have to do it in person at the next session. When the next game night rolled up, I pulled the Fighter aside before we started, explaining to him that his behavior wasn't working with the group and that he needed to find another game. I braced myself for some kind of pushback or maybe even a small scene. What I didn't expect was his actual reaction. In an instant, the Fighter pulled out a gun. Time seemed to slow down, and for a moment I thought I was hallucinating, but no, he actually had a gun, held low and very visible, and he looked me dead in the eye and said, "No." He said, his voice calm and cold. There was no anger, no yelling, just an eerie quiet, as if he believed his point would hit harder if he stayed calm. I was frozen, heart racing, every muscle in my body tense with fear. I could feel the other players' eyes on us, their breath hitching as they realized what was happening. In that small, cramped back room of the game store, the air suddenly felt thick and suffocating. All the usual store noises faded into the background, and all I could focus on was the weapon in his hand and the look in his eyes. It wasn't even about the game anymore. This was real. I had never felt so helpless. Somehow, we managed to start the session. He got into the session! Nobody really wanted to keep playing, but no one knew how to end it either. We were all sitting in that room, silent, and during the game, everyone's glances darted nervously to Fighter and each other. The usual laughter and banter were gone, replaced by the tense silence of some people trying to survive an hour without triggering a man who brought a gun to a game night. Finally, the session wrapped up, and I packed up as fast as I could, leaving the store as soon as the Fighter was out of sight. I immediately reported the incident to the store manager and warned the staff, hoping they'd take precautions for everyone's safety.